Good evening and welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, James Ransom Reed Jr. Now, if you've watched this show before, you know I tell you everybody has a story. And as I was preparing for this interview tonight, it occurred to me how blessed I am to be able to read. I hadn't given it much thought, and those of us who read really don't give it much thought. But the people who taught me to read are the people who really set me free. Because then I could explore for myself, learn on my own, and read about myself and my people's history and the history all around me. Imagine if you can't read a menu, can't go shopping, have trouble reading road signs. Imagine if you are unable to read, how that impacts your daily life. My show tonight is a show about reading. It's about being literary. It's about visionary people who can see and understand the importance of bringing families together in a spirit of learning. I have to my right Tishala Williams, to her right Enzima Hutchins, and to her right Lorraine Nahabedian. They are going to tell you all about literary integrated trailblazers, what it is, why it exists, and how it is a labor of love for them. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, now let's get right into the meat of it.
Yes.
Literary integrated trailblazers. What? Talk to me about that. How did that start? What is it all about?
Well, I have to say, first of all, thank you for having us on your show. I really appreciate this moment, this opportunity to share everything literary. And so the Literary Integrated Trailblazers is a group of local authors and artists who gathered together with a passion to revitalize our stories, to revitalize literature in our community. We read, we write, we have a story to tell. We have narratives that we want to be spoken and told and read and written by us and purchased by us and have our ownership. So to no further ado, we said, hey, we want to run it the way we want to run it. We participated at other festivals. We are all authors, entrepreneurs, and we wasn't seeing what we wanted to see. And I mean, there's more to the backstory, but the gist of it was all about just revitalizing the community, having our say, having our stories told, and building culture and community around it. And also economically build up on our stories.
Yes, definitely. Oftentimes when you do not see what you desire to participate in, you take initiative. And collectively, we agreed the things that we were passionate about in terms of books and stories aligned. And we wanted to create an experience. You don't have to sit around and wait to participate in the things that you want to see within your community. You can build it and you can create it. And that's what we did. We had a zero budget and a whole lot of passion. And we came together and we would meet every week and have lemon pound cake and all those good things and break bread together and chips and dip and talk about not just books that were coming out, but also books that we desired to create ourselves. And so in that process, we began to understand the book process and connect with other authors that enjoyed telling stories, whether it was them telling their personal story or them finding a way to tell a fictional story that they enjoyed. But it was just all from these varied perspectives of people who just existed in our community. It was almost like that song on Sesame Street, "Who are the people in your neighborhood?" So in this instance, you would think, you know, you go to the grocery store and you go to school and you see these people and you would never think that these people are also poets.
Right.
And these people also write beautiful memoirs,
Yes.
or they paint amazing pictures or do graphic arts. And so this is an opportunity for us to come together as a community and say, hey, I may have this occupation, but I'm also an artist. I'm also a creative, and I also have this that
I'm
I
not
can
one-dimensional.
share. Right, exactly.
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
one-dimensional. There's varied aspects of me, and so we wanted to create space so that we could celebrate that within the community.
Lorraine?
Well, they caught my attention 5 years ago as a retired teacher. I still say reading is fundamental, and I love to read. I'm an avid reader. But
What did you teach, Lorraine?
Special needs children
Okay.
from K through 12.
Okay.
So, you know, because I saw the struggle with children being able to read, I can appreciate your saying that, what if we couldn't read? So, I care about the children. Well, I care about the adults too, but my heart is the children. So when it comes to reading, I want to see them flourish. And what attracted me to Hartford's the program that they created, was that I got to learn about so many authors that I didn't know anything about, and so many great books. And they know, even if I can't join them online or doing a Zoom or a book chat or something, I'm with them all the way, and I'm following what books are coming up. And I'm like, I always say I'm 5 books behind, because I start one and then do another one and go, oh, wait, but that's my main passion, is reading, and that's what got me interested. So I've been volunteering for them for 5 years and loving every minute.
So is 5 years the length of your organization, or is it longer?
They're more.
It's a little bit longer. However, this is our 6th year doing the Hartford Book Festival.
Okay. And what is the Hartford Book Festival?
Well, the Hartford Book Festival, listen, let me tell you.
Let me tell you, Jim, what it is.
So this Hartford Book Festival is off the chain. It is off the charts. It is just not a row of chairs and tables and people sitting there as if they was in, I hate to say it, like a little tight, quiet library. We love libraries, but it is really vibrant. It's really hard-hitting culturally. We have workshops, panel discussions, we have symposiums, we have a live stage, open mic, we have the babies crafting, making journals, we have entrepreneurs, we have some of everybody. You have genres that you don't even think about. Like you have like sci-fi poetry. You have an author who's there, publishers, folks who like to connect to publish a book. They don't know the first thing about publishing. You have traditional publishers. Then you have the
independent publishers.
The independent publishers, and so it is a place where a lot of people intercollect. We network. We support our small businesses. See, a lot of people who are authors don't look at it as a business. They just say, "Oh, I wrote a book," But now you have to push that thing. You have to make money and build your brand. You might have a story. You might not even want to be. You wrote your book. You put your story out there, right? But what if you need a photo? So we have photographers, like Tishala said earlier. It is a place to network, to find out who's who and who we are, So it's a family affair. It's free. It's open to the public. It is September 21st. And so I'm excited, looking forward to this. Is our 6th year. Like Tishala said, we start out with a 0 budget. Last year was the first time we received a grant. And we was able to pay our artists. Folks, we had the Connecticut Poet or the authors. We had Jan Ghiazzi last year attend the festival. We have some hard-hitting, heavy-hitting literary icons in our community that you probably didn't even think of. This is a literary state, and this year we celebrated the centennial birthday of Baldwin, and
Jimmy.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Jimmy. And so,
Tell it on the mountain.
yes. So we
Tell me how long the train's been gone.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sure.
So when we gather, we are educating folks, we learning our history, and we serve the greater Hartford area. We serve people in towns in Connecticut that we have never heard of before. So people come out. People who come from Maryland, people are coming from New Jersey, New York, Baltimore, all over to participate.
And we've always seen storytelling as a very liberating and important thing to do.
It was always a massive part of African culture.
Exactly.
That's what we did.
Exactly.
That's how we translated knowledge by
yes.
telling stories.
Yep.
The storyteller in African groups was a very important position for people, because I've had a gentleman here who's from Nigeria who told me how his family ranked in the tribal setting because of his position in telling stories, which I knew nothing about.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm old and I won't remember, so I wanted to get it in. But So yeah, it was terrific. That's how we communicate, through telling stories. From the time I was a child, sitting on grandma's lap, grandma'd be telling me a story. I didn't know about Dick and Jane first. I knew about Africa first.
Yes.
And there were those who would say, oh, this is a black thing. Listening to you, I already know that's not true. It's a cultural thing. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
It's cultural.
Correct.
Yes.
You are right.
It is.
It is cultural.
And it's important for us to be able to share and ensure that every voice has an opportunity to be heard. So one of the things that we like to do is publish an anthology. When we started in, was it 2018?
2018.
We started in 2018. We had poems from inmates. We had poems and stories from teenagers. And we just continue to make sure that it's not just about us coming together and networking, but it's also about us creating opportunities. Like she said, because some people have a story, but they don't know how much of it they want to share or how they want to share it. We try to make sure that we provide education through the workshops to teach people how to tell their stories in the varied ways that they can do it, but then also create opportunities where someone is like, well, I don't want a whole book. I just want to put this out there. And then it becomes a part of our anthologies or anything that that we're working on publishing and sharing with the community. And another thing that we also do at the book festival is that we honor members of our community. So we had a member of Hartford's Lit who unfortunately passed away, and she was not able to see our first festival. So in honor of her, Miss Jamila Muhammad, Miss Honeywater, we created an award to keep her name alive and just ensure that people understand how important it is that no matter what, you tell your story and recognize that when you put it in print, it's here.
It's here.
It's here, and it's always attainable and tangible for others to feel what you felt and understand and learn from the things that you've experienced in your life. We honor trailblazers, those who are just burning pathways throughout the community and just making things happen in ways that are touching lives. And that's just what it's all about, and that's what's most important, just making sure that you keep that focus lit.
Yes, that's our motto, keep that focus lit.
Keep that focus lit.
If you don't mind, I would like to add, she mentioned inmates and teenagers.
That's what I was going to ask about.
We have folks in long-term care facilities, psychological care, long-term care facilities. You had folks who was human trafficked or homeless, and then we have our everyday creatives, folks who just wanted to participate. They've been writing for years. They say, I would like to write and participate even more in your book and be a part of it. We're making history. There is no Hartford Book Festival. There is a Connecticut Literary Festival came, I think, a year after us or something like that. It is basically, all festivals. If it's literary, I enjoy all the festivals. Primarily what I see when I visit other festivals, it is clubs from maybe colleges and things like that. You know, folks who are in school, they put out a journal. But this festival that we wanted to see and we created gives the community the opportunity to have their say. They're on a stage, and their say might be coming from, like we said, inmates who will never get out of those walls. It might be
Males and female inmates?
we have yes, we actually. It's funny, but I think a lot of these people, you know, we had to type up their work because you know they handwritten it out, and we had to type up their work. But you know, everybody have a story to tell. Some people are, and you know, not everybody in prison, you know, did something, you know, whatever. I don't want to go in that area, but they have a story to tell. I remember meeting Abion Doon from the Last Poets, and he did some prison time, right? And he said he wrote some of his best work in prison, and he had his album out, and folks was like, yeah, he was like, that's me. They was like, yeah, that's not you. This is the Last Poets, whatever. But when we look back at the history that they have made, folks who are in prison, you know, they, for whatever reason, we don't want recidivism. We want them to have a second chance. You've already been, you know, institutionalized or whatever. But so
they have a voice.
They have a voice.
They have a voice, and they deserve to be heard. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we feel like when we look at a person's situation, we can determine what it is that they'll discuss. That's not true. Somebody might like turtles.
That's right.
Exactly.
There might be a children's book about, you know, choosing the right path or making the right choice. Oftentimes we learn lessons through our experience, but if we tell people that they don't have a right to even come to the table, there's
Based
so
on
much
whatever.
we're cutting off.
They marginalize somebody
Yes.
else's experience.
And we're
Exactly.
limiting ourselves to what we can truly understand about the human experience. Everything has an opportunity to teach you something, whether it's something that you shouldn't do or something
Right.
that you should do better.
Especially those things
Exactly.
you shouldn't do.
Exactly. But there's
We
always
need those
the
cautionary tales,
opportunity,
yes.
and there's always the space to have that discussion. I think that is another thing that happens. You get an opportunity to get into a space with people who think differently or understand differently or have a different perspective, and you're able to just have a conversation about whatever it is, and you'll start to understand a different perspective. But you need to come together in these rooms with these people, older people, younger people. It's beautiful to be able to see that there are members, elderly members of our community who are publishing their work. They're there with their granddaughter, and it's like, you know, our grandfather had this book, and we said, all right, Grandpa, we're going to help you do this. And he's there with his white hair, and he's like, yep, I did it.
Oh.
This is my book. You remember?
Yes.
And so
Oh, yes.
it's so adorable to be able to be in a space where you can see Grandpa has published his first book, and then you got the baby over here who has published their first book.
Oh, man,
and
I see.
everybody gets to take a picture together.
All right,
and
yeah.
buy it all,
All right.
right? And put it
All
on your
right.
shelf. But we also have raffles and giveaways. So no matter what, you have an opportunity to learn, to participate in activities, to go home with the book, whether you purchase it or you win it or it's given to you. We always try to make sure that we have someone donating and we're able to just give as much as we can back to the community.
Yes.
You mentioned the Last Poets. When I was growing up, Afraid of Revolution.
Yes.
That piece, you know what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
yes, yes.
and that's what as a young man, I was exposed to the Last Poets, and it really started me to think because, like I said, the people who taught me to read set me free, and through my early life, the Muslims were ascending in our community, so we were learning about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, and all that, and you know, like Malcolm said, you know, you've been had, you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled. You know, I love the way he put it because what appealed to me about the Muslims, even as a young man, was they said, no, don't beg people, build your own.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
no, don't fight people who don't want you. Build your own. Don't go to banks who are going to lie to you. Open your own bank.
Open your own
Open
bank.
your own hospital. Open your own school. that stuff really
Be revolutionary.
be
for real.
revolutionary.
That's revolutionary.
You know, that's
change.
revolutionary.
Yeah.
You know, stop begging people to accept you when they don't have the grace to understand that they're just like you.
Yes.
You know, so growing up through the 60s and seeing that really had a profound impact on me in a direction I took in life because I never knew about Africa. Who did? I grew up watching Tarzan, you know,
Yes,
rule
I
the
know.
jungle.
And we'll be, go Tarzan, get him.
Right.
Not knowing that, like, who
How can you be mad at me for thinking that?
Yes.
That's what I saw.
Exactly.
So who controls the image controls your mind. You know, so, but I remember being told at some point that, you know, blacks are lazy. And I just look at them and say, well, I don't know, you must mean some other blacks, because in my house, my father had 2 jobs, my mother had 3 jobs, you know, and by the time I was 10, they had me working. So you must be talking about somebody
Some
else
other,
being lazy. So this cultural thing of reading, Jesus, I am so blessed to be able to get you guys here today to talk about that and impress upon people how important it is to understand somebody else's culture, to get in their culture. We're not that different, except culturally. And if you don't know a person till you know their story,
Yes.
that's when you know a person. That you
Yes.
can't let the TV tell you who you are.
You can't.
You really can't.
You
really
can't.
can't.
You can't, because it's going to lie to you. You know, it's gonna downplay you, and no, you can't do that. So, what I'm talking about and what you're talking about today is a portal. I learned that from my grandson. He said, "Grandpa, you got a portal. What? Yeah, you could go right through there, and the world's different." That's what you're doing. You're changing the world.
Let me tell you, this September, I'm going to say it again, September 21st,
Yep.
from 10 to 5 at the Hartford Public Library on Main Street.
All portals open.
Listen, all portals will be open. And outside of that Hartford Book Festival, that day, because this is not just a one-day affair.
Yeah.
It's a 2-day affair. We have 3 parts in 2 days.
Okay.
You know, so we have the Hartford Book Festival, which is happening for the whole family, free, Saturday. And then Sunday morning to about 2 o'clock, we have writing room. Hartford's have their H-Lit writing room. It's the portion of our conference where you just want to write. You're going to come into the room virtually, Zoom. You don't have to leave your home. You register for free. You participate. Wow. We are offering different workshops. Tishala has done melanated tales. I have done morning pages. We are multifaceted in our gifts. You know, you're looking at not only authors or workshop leads, you know, or poets. You know, we are mothers. We are gifted in other places, actors and actors. We have a large group. We have, again, Lorraine been part of our organization, and we said, look, you need to just get a red shirt because you need to participate. You know, and every year she would come in, and especially for the evening of poetical musings that would happen that Sunday night, we have just a day to kick back. Folks come in, we have things, it's called Evening of Poetical Musings. So we have activities to create that juice flow in the beginning part of the day. Then we have open mic, and it's just jazzy, and that will be held at the 224. So that part won't be, so it's Sunday, and this part will be at the 224 on Farmington Avenue in Hartford, and that is from 5 to 8 p.m. Outside of our festival, we do have ongoing programming. I even had to bring the cheat sheet. This is our writers. It says double up your writing. It is our writer's writing prompt book. My tongue is tied. I'm like, what am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Book,
yes.
That we came up with to assist new writers, providing some inspiration for them and some guides to help them create stories or create poetry or just fluidly get some writing completed.
Wow.
But just another way to assist in that writing process, because everyone is in a different place. They've either made a story, have a story, searching for a story, can't find it, but we like to provide ways to just inspire people to continue and express what it is that they like to share.
We need a relationship.
We do.
We need a relationship.
And
So
I have to say, another unique aspect of these ladies and their program, Hartford L.I.T, they go into the Hartford Public Schools.
Okay.
Now, talk about inspiring our young minds.
Yeah.
They're right in the classroom.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yes.
yay! You know, so, I mean,
Thank you for that.
This
Yes.
is, you know, this is the real meat and potatoes, I'll call
Hold
it.
that thought for the second part of this interview, all right?
Okay.
That's all the time we have for this particular taping of the Literary Integrated Trailblazers. I know you've been lit. I have. So I'm your host. I'm James Ransom Reed Jr. My show is What's Your Story? Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time, good night.
The water's warm at Jaws Pond, and we're stocked full of treasures. Big or small, we buy it all. We buy and sell fast rides, power tools, vintage guitars, and so much more. Walk the plank in style with our fine jewelry, diamonds, and watches. Plus, we have a huge selection of the latest video games, including the new PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Jaws Pond, conveniently located on Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington and West Main Street in New Britain.
Hello, I'm Bill Meyer, Board Director for Nutmeg TV, your local public TV station. For over 30 years now, Nutmeg has brought countless local events, municipal meetings, and programs to our TV screens. To continue this important work, Nutmeg relies on the support of generous individuals like yourself. So we're reaching out today to ask for your monetary support. Together we can continue to amplify the voices and stories that make our community unique and vibrant.
To make a donation, simply visit our website at nutmegtv.com or call the office at 860-321-7405 for assistance.